Our work is designed to look at violence in terms of its contagious nature. That is to say, how one event leads to another and how people learn this from each other. I'm a physician trained in infectious diseases. The maps of violence in most US cities looked like this. There was clustering. This reminded me of clustering that we'd seen also in infectious epidemics, for example, cholera. Well, what really predicts a case of violence? And it turns out that the greatest predictor of a case of violence is a preceding case of violence, which also sounds, it may be familiar to you. If there's a case of flu, someone gave someone a case of flu, or a cold, or the greatest risk factor of tuberculosis is having been exposed to tuberculosis. And so we see that violence is, in a way, behaving like a contagious process or disease. There's good news about this, though, because there's a way to reverse epidemics, and there's really only three things that are done to reverse epidemics, and the first of it is interrupting transmission. In order to interrupt transmission, you need to detect and find first cases.
I was a former gang leader. I came home almost 10 years ago, and I decided to be a part of the solution and not the problem.
I feel a deep-seated guilt for what I've done in my life. And I felt that I've taken so much, my community, I've taken someone's life.
The way the CeaseFire Chicago model works is by recruiting and training a new cadre of workers called violence interrupters.
They consider us to be credible messengers because we've been there, done that, and we try to pass that along to them.
We work directly with the community to change the norms, if norms are violent in this neighborhood. So we work at three levels: detecting and interrupting events, behavior change among the highest risk, and changing the norms for the long haul among the community as a whole. And then we would put all of this into place in one neighborhood in what was the worst police district in the United States at the time. So violence interrupters hired from the same group, credibility, trust, access, just like the health workers in Somalia, but designed for a different category, and trained in persuasion, cooling people down, buying time, reframing. Now, our first experiment of this resulted in a 67% drop in shootings and killings in the West Garfield neighborhood of Chicago. There have been independent evaluations supported by the Justice Department and by the CDC and performed by Johns Hopkins that have shown 30 to 50 and 40 to 70% reductions in shootings and killings using this new method.
We mediated the conflict, and we got both sides to stand down. We got them to agree, you stay on your side of the street, we stay on our side of the street, and that's about where it is right now. No one's been shot since then.
If you can change the way you think about violence, then you can change the next person and the next person, and next thing you know, when a person pulls a gun out, you're gonna have like thousands of people up in his face saying, look, what are you doing? We don't even pull out guns anymore. That's a thing of the past.
What I did was as a result of having a friend shot, was as a result of not being able to process this anger. And it was also as a result of what I thought was normal behavior. And with CeaseFire, I'm giving that opportunity to actually make a difference